Hello my beautiful friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are doing December dailies stories for days 5, 6, and 7. I'm doing 3 in this video simply because what I'm making day 6 was a pre-story pre-done during prep day. I was an instructor in Allie Edwards prep day, so I taught how to do photo slicing in that class, and I used the little stamps that the tags that came in it, and so all the journaling and stuff is done. It just needed a spot to be put in my album, and so the way my pages are working out, it makes sense to have it at least for page 6. Let me explain a little bit more. So we finished page 4, right, and we did this whole flip out. So then I have going on here, what started my dilemma was because I'm always thinking about space. Like I can't have too many double page layouts all the time, or else my album is not going to be completed in one. So it started off because I could think actually on the 5th, it was her Grinch day, right? And so I was like, oh, this is so perfect. I want to do Grinch day. Oh, and I had these, this was blank, so this wasn't in there. But I was like, oh, I don't know what card to put for here. I want to like go with the green thing. And so I was like, what else can I do? So imagine this wasn't here, because this is how we are. And then I remembered we have this page included in the kit, or in the add-ons, and I was like, oh yes, this is going, all the green is so perfect. I was like, now I can't do use it on this side, so I was like, it'll be the next story, so that'll be 5, and then this will be 6. But then I was see, this is always like the December daily math, but then I was like, okay, 5 has to be a double page, because then 6 is going to be a double page, and then we'll continue on. And I was like, that's so many double pages, so I was like, let me push this one day, so that way it's now 7, and that way this could be 5, and then this could be 6, and then this is 7, in order to not have so many double page layouts. And so in my brain that worked. So as I was saying this will be 7, I was like, well, what can I have one-sided on here and one-sided on here? And I remembered I did this, so I was like, okay, that could be 6 for this side, but then I still need something over here for just story 5. And so that's what led me to what I'm showing you, is because we're going to do something for 5, which is using this card. And I liked it too, because at least it pulled the red from over here. So this will be 5, 6, and then this is story 7. Okay, you with me? This is always what happens, because now, you got to remember now, story 8 has to use the back side of this. And so I do have, I think, what I'm going to use. So I just don't know if I'm going to use the 3x4s, or I'm considering doing a 2x2 pocket with that one, to pair it with this side, because this side, I just say, well, a little bit of an odd shape, yes. So I just don't know if I'm going to make it a one-sided page or a two-sided page to tell that story. That's neither here nor there. So for this side 5, we're going to do a currently page, and there's something going on with my printer. So I've made a collage, and it's printed out weird in the same spot twice. I don't know why it's done that. So we're just still going to use it, because I don't want to print it again. This one's a little bit better. And so there is someone, see, I'm always bad with who I get inspired by. I want to say it's Nellie again. Nellie has been killing it, with her inspiration. So these go in here, this goes in here. So this part is simple, right? But I want to create a flap with all of these trees. And so that's what it's looking like. So this is one of those like fuse tool ones where you can add it, to the top, or I'm going to use it on the bottom, and you fuse it, and then you'll add in a pocket. So it could be down on the top as well, right? If you wanted to add more pockets, but I'm going to add it to the bottom. Okay. And I can't decide if I just want it adhered. I'll probably just adhere it to the front of this, because otherwise I have to like do it between the page, and put it in here, which is an option too. And it doesn't really, it wouldn't interfere that much with this either. So it could be done like that. Either way, the point is that I am trying to make like a little bit of a, pocket, invisible little moment here where the trees are kind of blocking it, but we'll have the ability to flip it and show the picture. just so I can use more of the product. So we're going to construct that. We're going to adhere this, and then we're going to embellish this. And with this one, I do want to stamp out Grinch Day. So I've pulled out a few alphas. So this one was the new one I got with the December daily release this year. And I love it, but I just don't feel Grinch Day would fit stamped out in one of these. And I don't want to take up two, so that one's too big. So then we have the classic one from a few years ago that I really am considering. And then I have these ones. This one's a little bit smaller of a font than this one. I just like that it's chunky. This is just Sam Alpha from Elf Studio. And then I also just kind of like this one. It's just a large, almost like typewriter font. It's called just Max. This is from Carrie Bradford. And I just like the font. And I was trying to like audition out. I'm like, G, you know, R. I'm like, Grinch would fit. H. Yeah, Grinch would fit. And this would be a nice and bold one. So we'll be doing that too. So there's a little bit of an artsy craftsy moments, but let's get started. That way this won't be so long. So we're going to start making this and adhere it somehow. I haven't decided which way, and then adhere the rest of the stories. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's get started on making my little flip-flap moment. That extra fusible pocket, I do end up like curving it under the bottom side of the entire page sleeve, so that helps keep it stable, and that way it's just kind of overlapping on the side on the opposite story where it was like a Christmas list, and I'm okay with that. So in order to create this flip flap, I know that I have to use some sort of adhesive that won't show too much, and so at first I just use a little dollop of my Beacon glue, just because I know it works plastic on plastic. And I'm doing it right along the edge because in my head I also know that after I was thinking about it, I'm going to do a little stitching along kind of like the bottom third of it, because that way I can ensure that it will stay. But before I do that, I was decided to at this point, because I hadn't before, I was going to make it into a shaker pocket. So I'm deciding to use some Bella Rose sequins. I had purchased these last year. So I do not remember the name of them, and actually they don't have the name of them on there, but it's a little Christmas mix that has some pink and red, gold and silver, and like little holly leaf embellishments in there. And so then I'm also mixing it with some holographic like hexagon confetti that I got from Michael. So the combination of the two really does well, and then you can see that the hologram part too makes it very festive actually. So actually the ones from Michael's, so that way they're readily available. It's a holographic one that's a hexagon, and then I have a mix of gold and silver stars that I've used a couple times now too. So I just leave them on my desk because they're working and they're flatter. They're flatter than sequences, so that's always helpful. So you can see right there how I was showing, like I'm having it flip under this part where it's over her Christmas list, instead of trying to do it both on the front side of where I'm having it. And just a little bottom double plastic. You can barely even see it, so I'm happy with that decision. And I use the Beacon glue because plastic on plastic does work out better in this situation. So then for the opposite side, the pre-made story 6 is good, because for me it's very important to have a combination of double page layouts as well as single-sided. I know people probably don't worry about that and just go for it, but like I said, I always try to keep my albums, at least this is my 10th year, all 10 years I have kept it to one album, and that is important to me because I will not have enough storage in my house if I get into 2 album moments. So here I am auditioning out the different stamps that I showed you earlier to see which ones really do fit. And this one, while I like the font, this is the Max from Carrie Bradford, it really didn't fit. I thought it would, it wouldn't. I auditioned out the Allie Edwards font as well, which is like the classic that most of us use. That one was like a very popular one. I'm so glad I have it in my collection, but I end up going with the Elf Studio one. I think because it's a little shorter in height and a little wider, some reason fits in this space perfectly. So we're going to go with Elf Studio one, and doing all of the embossing takes some time. So I show you probably the first few letters and me kind of mapping out how to fit Grinch. The first few letters, and then I kind of obviously edit the footage so that you don't have to watch me do the whole thing, because I will say I do it's one pass, and it was kind of, not to say transparent, it was a really thick application. However, I knew it could get thicker, so I did it like another pass of all the letters, and so that definitely took double the amount of time. And I did it, like I said, I edited all out. Well, I stopped filming and then edited out where I was like, they don't need to see all that. You know how to heat emboss. But just know that I went in with it this first pass, and then I do go back and add a second layer so that the green, it's called green tinsel, it is by Ranger, really shows through a lot more. And I embraced the whole green thing, as the whole green theme as well. We had purchased these Grinch hats and the gloves and the socks actually at Hobby Lobby. But honestly, we were the people that we bought it probably back in October. I'm not gonna lie, because in my experience, especially with Hobby Lobby and the holidays, when you first see it and you like it, just buy it. Just buy it, because next week when you go back, it's gone. It's gone. So we bought it. So she's been waiting for Grinch Day this whole time, and honestly, she looks so dang cute. And then I went back for a hat as well, which is what I was saying, because I bought it for her at first, and then like time goes by, and I was like, you know what, I really liked that hat. Let me go back and buy it. And when I went back to Hobby Lobby, I literally purchased like the last one I could find, like, you know, in a random shelf in the Grinch aisle, and they were all gone from the racks. So that's the lesson. And so I printed all my journaling, so I had to wait for a few days of stories to print out a whole sheet on clear sticker paper. I just don't like to waste it. So that's why this video is a little delayed. So anyway, I'm putting them all in their spots. And since 6 was already done, I decided for the Grinch Day, I did a double spot of journaling, but I decided just to go with one. I printed out one of the photos, but I only took vertical portrait photos the day of Grinch Day, because I also wore my Grinch hat and a Grinch sweatshirt. So I just made it work. It fits in the section quite nicely, and I like the way it looks, actually. And so clear sticker paper, I always use the MACO one. I usually have it linked down below. I think it's also in my Amazon storefront as well. And now I'm realizing when I'm doing this that I have to trim out and kind of get a creative way to have the day 6 fit in my album, because both sides I did not consider the holes. I did it without holes in my class just because I didn't know if it was going to go on the left or right side. And now when I'm viewing it, the holes would be interfering with the stamps on the side. So this was a prep day where I taught the people of the classroom how to do photo slicing, which if you've seen my previous December dailies, I have done this technique in the past. So I just took it step by step in the prep day with Allie Edwards. And so I just took a piece of acetate that I use for my title page and made a little acetate-like strip. If you have those page attachers, those are also pretty much what I'm making, just with acetate. And I'm trimming down the backside photo too. I do want to add trim to the pages, so I'm not adhering anything like back to back yet, so that I can go through my trim stash and add, you know, lace ribbon or pom-pom trim or something with ruffles or something like that, just so that there is textured on the edges. So that'll probably be like the last step before I put this album away, would just be adding trim, so that I can do that without rushing this process. Because I felt like that's what was happening, you know, especially when you think about the rest of the pages. I always say, like, you know, in order to make it work, like I said, a combination of double pages and single pages. How can I make a single? Where can I make a double? It all gets complicated. Okay, we will wrap this video at this point, only because I don't want to, I want to add trim to the spine of this one, but I want to find if I have mint or pink, but I don't want to keep the video from not going up because of trim in between pages. So story 5, I finished off with adding one of those glittery hearts and a number 5 from the main kit. It is a shaker pocket. Oop, 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 let me show you. It is a shaker pocket that we have added to show the photos. And these 6 photos are 6 little motions in there, which worked out really good. And I just had to trim down, oop, you see there's a piece, the green one a little bit. It was blocking the hole punch area, which is fine. I had to add a trim piece of plastic just because I couldn't have the hole punches interfere with this interactiveness. And it was slightly shallow to have the holes otherwise. So I just trimmed it out really close to the end there. And that way I was able to just add an extension, which worked out good. And so this one I trimmed out as well, so it'll fit right on top, as you can see, and then be good. I just wanted to see if I have pom-pom trim that's in pink or mint, because the green works good on this side, but the Hunter Kelly green doesn't work good for this side. So I don't want to use this one there just yet. But then we talked about Grinch Day. I did a vertical photo there just to occupy some of the space. I did have double journaling, but I'll save the extra journaling of, you know, it was kind of like 5 things about Vale for another page that I talk about her, maybe like on her recital day. And so that will lead into day 8 and 9 on the next video, and we'll be starting off with the back side of this. So it's coming together, and I have these still in here ready to go, and I do have my stories. I just have to print photos and do my journaling. So I'm excited about the next video. So hopefully that was inspiring. I just love the Grinch Day photo. That's the one that came out so good with all the green. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, everyone. Bye.